I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere and nowhere, all at the same time. It is absolutely the cloud. The one and only. I am most certainly omnipresent. I'm a lot of things. It's Brother Bear Brian. I've been called worse. What's up, Russ? What is up, Switch Doctor? Brother Bear is a compliment? Oh, is it? I'm not. I don't know what's hip these days, guys. I don't know what's cool, what's with it. I used to be with it, then they changed what it was. And now I'm just sad. What's up, Mr. Petrov? How you doing, man? Petrov absolutely knows what's with it. What's with it, even. Oh, man. I forgot to lube stabilizers before the stream, so unfortunately, you guys have to watch me lube stabilizers. Shouldn't take too long, hopefully. You love a stab lubing stream? It is pretty old school. I feel like few streamers still do that these days. Use stock stabs? Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? Not you crazy? I am pretty crazy. Do a Switch lubing stream one day? Oh man, I don't think anyone wants to see that. I used to lube Switches on stream. Not many people watched. Not like many people watch my build streams to begin with, but I feel like watching someone lube is kind of rough. Teha Types was streaming Switch lubing today. Well, Teha Types can get away with it because he's Teha Types. That doesn't work for us smaller folks. I mean, I'm sure some people would watch, but at least half the people would probably leave. Phrasing? I mean, what's wrong with a little lubing? I suppose I should get started on these stabilizers, since I should have done them earlier. Is the music too loud, guys? Music's good? Cool. Opinions on Pizza 65. I don't think I've seen it. Is it like the Pizza 75? Because if so, I wasn't really a fan of that aesthetic. It is absolutely blue. Well, I mean, it's technically ultramarine, which you could certainly argue is blue. Or at least somewhat blue. I've noticed that my camera really, really struggles to pick up all versions of ultramarine. The stabilizers, the switches, the case. I guess it picks up the case a little bit better, but man, I tried showing off the Ultramarine switches last stream in my Fiel build stream where I built this one, which is amazing, by the way. And it was just not having it. It was really, really difficult to show off the colors, so we're gonna hopefully try again this stream. But this is the Ultramarine Clippa, for anyone that hasn't seen the Ultramarine case color yet. This is a round 4, so it has the removable posts, which we will be removing, just like we did on the good old Fiel here. Also, just like the Fiel, which I really like, comes with the, I forgot what the term for this is, but these particular bump-ons, these particular feet, I think these are just so much nicer than standard bump-ons. Really kind of takes it up a level, you know? Music too loud? Oh, okay. That's an easy fix. Alright. Hopefully that's better. This is kind of a quiet part in the song, I think, but I just turned it down a fair amount, so let me know how that is, guys. Don't be afraid to tell me something's too loud. About to go to bed, but wanted to stop by and wish you all a great weekend. Thank you, Karcha. That is super wholesome of you. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great weekend as well. Mine should be alright. It's gonna be looking for new jobs. That's blue. It is blue. I mean, it is a blue, for sure. Ultra's so hot. I just sold mine, but I do miss having that color around. Really beautiful. Yeah. I like the Ultramarine a lot. I like the Ultra Hot as well. This like, it's so interesting because it changes. It's one of those colors that I feel like changes a lot based on the lighting. So like here, it looks like super vibrant on stream, but in some like lighting, it looks like almost like a deep, rich burgundy. It's really, really quite interesting. Viewfinder, yes, thank you, thank you. My E-Weight Clippa finally shipped. Awesome, dude. Awesome. Alright, I should lose some stabilizers here. We have some case foam as well. I don't know if I'm gonna be using this. We're gonna find out though. We'll probably, it's pretty easy to test with and without, so 2 layers of this. Both I think 1.5 millimeter, maybe 2 millimeter. So we'll try it without any, and we'll try with both, and might try with one as well. Going to be using an aluminum plate here as well. And one of my current favorite PCBs, the WT60B. Always love using these. Frostfire, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime, man. It's very kind of you. Alright, let's lube these stabilizers real quick. It shouldn't take me too long. I'm pretty quick about it these days. Or at least I like to think so. Think I might do mine playlists. I was thinking about it. Oh, what do you guys think? No, I should use the plate. He sent the plate along with it. Leandrid over at Mechanisk was kind enough to send all of this over, of course, because he is just an absolute stand-up gentleman, scholar and a gentleman. So he sent the plate along with it, so I think it'd be a good idea to use it with it, just so I can actually, you know, put it to use and it doesn't just sit there. Plateless is pretty cool though. My Type X is plateless, and I do enjoy that as well. You opted for brass plate, but I'm not too sure. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of brass. Brass is probably my least favorite plate material. But definitely nothing wrong with brass. Arguably the most popular plate material. The stabs look nice. Yes, they do. I know the lighting's not particularly good, guys. Hopefully, once the stabilizers and the switches are in like the plate PCB assembly, I can kind of move it around and show it off a little bit better. But in this current setup, it's very hard to display the particular colors. The switches look almost black on camera, and they are a very dark color. It's a little difficult just to show off, though. Hopefully when I have some daylight, I can take some nice pictures in actual lighting. One of the things I do like a lot about the stabilizers are the housings are transparent, and then the inserts are opaque. Makes for a nice contrast between the two colors as well. I hope you all are going to have a fantastic weekend. Anybody have any great plans? Any keyboard builds you guys are doing over the weekend? Where I am, like a lot of places, just kind of went into another, I guess, lockdown, you could say, due to COVID-19, of course. So a lot of people being forced to stay home these days, which I agree with. Oh, in California, you have a curfew now. 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't think we have a curfew per se. That's pretty hardcore though. I just know a lot of people are upset about it out here due to the fact that they can't really have like a family Thanksgiving anymore because like you can't really have people over. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like how is it really enforced? Like I guess if you're like out driving or something, it's pretty easy, but otherwise it seems kind of hard to force. I don't know, man. We gotta get over this COVID stuff, man. We gotta like all focus on it together. Because ignoring it hasn't really done much. Where'd my music stop? I'm really excited to use these switches, actually. They come pre-lubed with something that's quite a bit thinner than 205 grade 0, which I like. So I'm kind of interested to see how these will compare, since they're kind of a direct competitor to the Novel Keys Silk switches. So JWK pre-lubed. But seriously, where's my music? Is this broken? Twitch soundtrack, please. Okay, apparently the lo-fi hip hop beats channel is just not working. So we'll go with some jazz apparently. Are they linears? They are indeed linears, yes. You need to compare Silk V1s versus V2s. That'd be a good thing to do. Let me know how that goes. I think the V1 Silks turned out pretty well, actually. I think they definitely could be better, but like as far as like a first, I thought it was very successful. What do you guys think about pre-lubed switches? I think it's kind of the future. Time for macro lens. What makes you say that? They nail down the consistency? Yeah, for sure. The consistency is definitely the big thing, the big factor. I wish they were a little bit lighter on the lube as well. But that's kind of personal preference, I assume. I prefer a really mild coat. I don't know how much I'm feeling this jazz channel. I gotta be honest with you. There's a lot of stations though. What do we want? We want classical. Let's see what classical is. I'm probably gonna switch the music a lot just because, well, I can. Silks were decently lubed, but they for sure needed films. Yeah. Films definitely help the JWK switches. I still don't think they're like that great after films though, in terms of sound. I think they feel good. But I don't know. We need something to make them sound a little bassier, I think. And generally, they looked pretty heavily lubed. Team light lube. Yeah, no, they. I think the silks were definitely lubed more than I'd like. But I know I tend to be in the minority, and a lot of people like a fair amount. At that point, I might as well buy the dry switches and lube them myself, or have someone else lube them for me. Yeah, well, that's the cool thing, right? Is both are available. Kind of wish there was more development in Switch designs other than MX, but I guess that won't happen for a good while. Yeah. I mean, I doubt Alps are ever going to make a comeback, and there's a lot of other vintage stuff that's kind of in the same boat. And I mean, Topra is kind of like its own thing, and they have they don't really release files for anything, so everything's kind of like very tight knit for Topra. It's like MX is really the only thing that we have that's like a blank canvas in a way. I don't see Ultramarine WT60D in build. No, I guess it's not. Maybe it's not Ultramarine per se. Or is it? I don't know. It's kind of like sort of in the same family, right? I don't know. You guys know I'm colorblind. You can't do this to me. You can barely tell the difference between V1 and V2. Yeah, I mean that's kind of fair. I feel like a lot of switches are kind of like that, or people like think there's like huge differences, but like in all actuality, it's pretty minute, and a lot of it comes down to biology. Some people can feel differences on some levels, and some people can't. It's the reason why some people think switches are smooth and some people think the exact same switch is not smooth. Alright. Stabilizers lubed. Very nice. See, that didn't take too long. was a joke because you said Ultramarine in the build command so many times. Yeah, true. This is a very Ultramarine heavy stream, which I think is alright. Such a good looking PCB. Yeah, Wilbur does indeed make some amazing stuff. Leandra needs to get some Ultramarine keycaps. Yeah, GMK Ultramarine. Where it at, though? Know what I'm saying? Alright, let's get some stabilizers in here that we can do a little testing. Are you going plateless again? No, I'm using a plate this time. I used a plate on my Fiel, and I'm using a plate on my Clippa as well. My Type X is the one that does not have a plate. Color is based off Solarized Dark. Oh, is there a GMK Ultramarine? I guess I should have assumed that already. Thoughts on spray lubing? I've never spray lubed before, I gotta be honest. But I think almost anything is worth trying out. I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen? Alright, the classical's a little too little too calm for what I'm looking for. This is the electronic station, apparently. I'm kind of new to the soundtrack by Twitch thing, so I'm learning about the channels. Alright, so I went split backspace on the Fiel, so I'll go normal backspace on this one. I watched the Type X, and even inspired me to do plateless on my Type X. Nice. Plateless is certainly an option to consider. I liked it on the Type X because it has the little, I don't know if I want to call them gaskets, but kind of covers that go over the mounting points and then make it much softer, which I like. Plus you get a little bit more flex if you're going plateless, particularly if you're using a PCB like this. Solarized Dark actual keycap endgame. It's a pretty good set. It was another one of those sets that didn't really look anything like the renders. And some people were okay with that, and some people not so much. Oh, the Ultramarine colored chosen was from Solarized Arc? I did not know that. I suppose I shouldn't be too surprised. Solarized Arc is a favorite of Leandrin. Wildcat makes some OEM boards sound amazing with his spray lubing and mods, so I was curious. Interesting. I have not seen that. I mean, I don't see why spray lubing wouldn't work, right? Could be a little messy, but... Alright, drop a screw on the floor. Let's see if I can find it. Nope, I'll let the floor gods have that one for now. This hobby needs a death metal streamer. There's a metal playlist. I don't know how much I'm feeling this electronic playlist. What is indie? What do you guys think? What do you guys think indie is? Let's listen to an indie song. Apparently this is just some kind of music stream now. Get any new boards for yourself in the last 3 to 5 months, or 3 to 4 months rather. I mean, both of these are actually personal builds, which is pretty cool. Other than that, I'm waiting on a few things in Group Buy. I'm waiting on the Heine TKL1. I was part of the Friends and Family run for that, and I believe that's actually shipping very, very soon. Some people have already gotten theirs already. So that'll be a soon upcoming build stream, which will be pretty awesome. As well as the Prophet, which I think ships relatively soon. So that'll be pretty awesome. And Tengu, which I think is not terribly far out from shipping either. Really, really excited for those boards, honestly. I mean, this music's alright. I feel like it's not really extreme friendly, though. Okay, the lo-fi station's working again, so I'm doing that. Need some caps to test with. I don't actually know what keycaps I'm going to use. Probably have to go with something that's a little bit more Neutral? What do you guys think? Maybe GMK muted? 9009? White on black? What set should I grab for... I don't have 9s. White on black? That's kind of what I was thinking too. Maybe. White on black or muted? I think if we're really pushing the Ultramarine theme, we should go with a neutral key set, right? White on black? We could try white on black. That could be pretty cool, right? That could be a thing. I'll have to take it off my Tokyo 60 proto. This is my quiet board. White on black is my weakness, so if that's an option, I'll always pick it. I do like white on black, and I haven't used it on a board in a while. Like I've had it on this board, but I haven't actually used it in a while. Tokyo 60, I did not enjoy that board. Yeah, it's not for everyone. I think it's pretty cool, like depending on what you're looking for. All right. So let's test some stuff. I have a hot swap PCB in here. Not the Tokyo 60 hot swap PCB, interestingly enough. But switches like to come out of this PCB very easily. Alright. Spacebar, we'll grab the enter. And we'll grab the shift. I like my Tokyo 60, just prefer non-HHKB layout. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Alright, we can harvest the rest of those caps in a little bit. So I don't need them immediately. I do need my backspace. There we go. This could look pretty good with white on black. If it doesn't look good, we can change it. There are other options. I was really leaning towards muted, but I have muted on my M60 right now, and it looks pretty good on the Dusk M60. If I do say so myself. And if okay, it looks good and it feels as an integrated plate feels. Yeah. Well, I think it's okay to not like integrated plates, but I feel like people don't give them an actual chance. People just expect them like to be good with like a standard lube linear that you would put in another board. But like I think integrated plates take a little bit more thought. I think you really need to either do a silent build with them, or you need to do a clicky build. Or like something that's like highly specific and like highly purposed to take advantage of an integrated plate. Alright, stabilizers are sounding pretty good. You still have your M60A? Yes. Yes, I do. I don't mind integrated. Yeah, I know a lot of people really dislike integrated plates, and they I'm not saying you guys, obviously, but like a lot of people heavily flame them. Oh, I should test this PCB as well. I'm not going to test every switch because well, frankly, I'm lazy, but everything seems to be working so far, so that's good. Would you recommend tactiles for an integrated plate? I was thinking of putting Zondas in my M60A when that arrives. I would recommend tactiles more than like a standard linear for integrated plates, but I really do think that silent switches and clickies are the best for integrated. You could do like a silent tactile, like a Xylent. That'd be pretty nice, I think. I don't know. I guess it kind of depends on the tactile. If it's like a softer tactile, maybe like a more mild tactility, I think it could be pretty nice. But if you're going for something a little bit more intensive, like a Holy Panda or a Zilio V2 or, you know, some kind of derivative of that, I think that it might be too much for an integrated plate. Because once you get over that bump, right, it's just like it takes the extra force, so you get a little bit harsher of a bottom out if the bump's a little bit too big, I feel. I actually had some, if you guys remember when I got samples of the Jesus switches, and I made Holy Jesus, and I used my M60A as a test bed for that build. And I will say that Holy Pandas on an integrated plate are pretty intense. Definitely more so than I would like. Teja did a test, or didn't test a PCB a few days ago until fully built. It was borked. That's a feels bad, man. I'm pretty sure I've done that as well. But every time it's been something that was fixable, at least. But yeah, that's unfortunate. PCB's a little bent, but that's okay. This should even out. Like mild tactiles or clickies in integrated plate? Yeah. I think integrated plates are fine. I think they get more flack than they should. I just think it's a little bit more specific than, you know, something more generic like a sandwich mount or a top mount. I too am not a fan of silent switches. We'll go stepped caps lock on this one. put down a little work mat here. I think I'll go box pinks on my M60. That's what I have in mind, man. No regrets. I unironically think box pinks are fantastic in an integrated plate build. Also, damn, I just put some glorious pandas on a plank of all things, and they're rather good. Yeah, they're pretty good. As far as holy pandas are concerned, I think they're the best. Sherbets? Yeah, I've actually never used those. Are they pretty good, Neb? Box pinks are underrated in general? Yes, I agree. They're like all, or they are like box clicks. You can lube like an MX. Oh, it's true. It's in a standard MX format, right? It's not the box style. I should get some of those, honestly. How do they sound compared to the box clickies? It's pretty comparable. Like pinks, fair enough. Do box switches still have a chance of damaging your caps? Asks a real big boss. If you get the pre-tooled ones, yes. But generally these days, if you're buying from a retailer, they're going to be the newer ones, which are totally fine. That situation was cleared up quite a while ago. Thankfully. But if you happen to find some pre-tooled ones, like you're buying on the aftermarket and they're before they were corrected, then those could, yes. However, there are tools on the market, or at least a couple that I've run in group buy that shouldn't be terribly hard to find, that can actually just correct your switches for you. The stem shaver sucks. Yeah. Okay, so that there's one that shaves them too much, right? Is it that one? But there's another one. There's at least one or two more. Or do they all... are they all bad, Neb? You'd probably know this more than I. It was out of spec after 10 switches. Yeah, it's pretty rough. Would have been cheaper just to rebuy new switches, huh? That's fair. What are your thoughts on the Ultramarine switches? This is my first build with them, so I will let you know after I am done and I have typed on it a little bit. Spoon says, I got myself a 3x3 switch tester where one of the switches is the box royal. After clicking away for some time now, it has become progressively more clicky. Is this a common occurrence? Quite literally they sound as if they're clicky, which was not the case at first. Yeah, well, a box royal is not actually a clicky switch. It's a tactile switch. However, I have heard reports that if you use them long enough, they can develop sort of a click, which I have not experienced, but I assume it's certainly a thing because other people have reported it too. So I assume you're not alone on that one. They're not JWK reclairs. These are JWK switches, yes. But they come pre-lubed. Kind of like the Novelty's Silks, but it's a thinner lube. Whereas the Silks use 205 grade 0. They are a linear switch. They feel pretty good in my hand. Yeah, box royals just do that, apparently. Probably the same lube that came with my Durox. Quite possibly, yeah. It's really odd that they do that because then your board will become inconsistent over time. Yeah. Oh, I don't think it was like a feature, right? It was probably something they didn't account for, didn't think would happen. Maybe didn't think of it all. And then all of a sudden it starts happening and everyone's like, it's like the John Travolta meme. Wonder if these use the same lube as alpacas then? Maybe. Well, alpacas don't come pre-lubed, right? Or do they now come pre-lubed? I mean, these are like an actual like fully lubed switch, like a Novelty's Silk. Looking good so far. Based on the Prime KB site there, pre-lubed. The alpacas I have, definitely not pre-lubed. But maybe they are now. Oh, yeah, yeah. Additionally, a thin oil lubricant is applied to 3 sides of the stem instead of just the legs as in the past. There you go. So maybe that's kind of like the new thing. I trust absolutely 0% of any information on JWK. Yeah, well, that's certainly an opinion as well. Alright, looking pretty good. Almost ready to do the old soldering. Gonna make sure the pins are through. Nice, okay. Pretty sure this is the right bottom row. I suppose I could test it. That would be the smart thing to do. Did you buy into any of the new Cherry Hyperglide switches? I have not, but I definitely want to try some. I should definitely get in on some. Because they certainly seem really interesting. If Cherry is like actually taking smoothness seriously, I think there's a potential that they could be very good. Alright, let's say the bottom row was right. Very cool. Damn, that PCB color is nice, right? Isn't it quite lovely? It's a good PCB. I'm gonna open my window just so I have a little bit of airflow here. I think the North American group buy stopped taking orders, unfortunately, so maybe we can both get some for round 2. Yes. Vendors will have them in stock eventually. It's true, Cherry does not live off the group buy system. Ideally, maybe like Novel Keys or one of our other sponsors could stock some. What's your favorite linear switch? Ooh, good question. That is, in fact, a good question. I don't know. I try to have a good answer for questions like this because like it's kind of unfair to not. But like at the same time, like I'm not really in the community for like what's best or like I like variety. So it's less about like what I like the most of one thing because like there's nothing I like enough to like not swap out for something else after a week or two just to like keep a variety rotation going, if that makes sense. Like if I had to pick, I'd probably say Telios, either Telios or Creams. Um, the JWK stuff, like these Ultramarines, they're all very good as well. Just a little bit more situational for me. But I mean, they're accessible, they're abundant, they're inexpensive. They come in a lot of different colors, and they're ridiculously smooth. So that's always cool too. Do those flex cuts make any difference if you use a full plate like that? Yes, absolutely. It depends on the plate material though. Like if you're using something like brass or steel, like you probably won't get quite as much of a benefit from. But with aluminum, there's definitely a little bit more flex. With something like I don't know, palm or polycarbonate or like maybe acrylic, there's definitely a lot more flex, and the flex cuts can kind of show off a little bit more there. But yeah, no, we'll definitely get some here. There's a noticeable amount of flex in this board, and this also has an aluminum plate. And again, like the Clippa, this is tray mount as well. So to be able to get any kind of flex in a tray mount, I think is quite nice, since they have a history of being a very harsh bottom out. But these days, with the 4-post mounting systems like the Fiel, the Clippa, and the Type X, it's a lot easier. A lot easier to get a nicer, more consistent typing experience that isn't viciously rough on the bottom out. How about top two? Yeah, I guess if I had to pick top two, it would be Telios and Creams. Creams because they're a little different, they're a little wackier, which I appreciate, and Telios just because they're fundamentally a great switch in my opinion. And anyone that says they sound bad has probably not used them in enough situations uh, to give them enough of a chance. I don't know. I feel like saying a switch sounds bad is not the right way to go about it, because as we all know, a switch is a very, I'm not gonna say it's a minor part of sound, but it's only one part of sound. You know, your plate, the way your housing is designed, the lube you use, you know, how many desk mats you're using, if you're using a desk mat, if you're using a thick wooden desk, if you're using a thin wooden desk, like the acoustics in your room. Like there's so many variables that go into how something can sound, and obviously there's a little biology to it as well. Maybe we won't hear things exactly the same. So I don't know. I hate the cop out of like Telios sound bad, or this switch sounds bad, or that switch sounds bad. I think it's just not the right way to go about it. I've built many boards with Telios that sound fantastic, and I've built some that don't sound quite as good as well. So you know, keeping an open mind is probably the most powerful weapon you can have in this hobby. Open mind and an open heart. I'm going to solder one of these center switches just to kind of help with the little bowing that we have in the PCB here. Nice. Okay. Flex in a tray mount is pretty impressive. Yeah. Yes, it is. On the FlexCut PCB, I like to keep the post for the spacebar installed. It doesn't affect the alphas, but does strengthen the spacebar. Interesting. Maybe I'll give that a try. Telios sound really good in my thermal. I have still yet to try a thermal. I want to build a thermal so bad. So bad. Any of you out there have a thermal that needs building, let me know. Thermal is total pog. Is it? I want to try it, man. Like, I've heard sound tests and stuff that sound pretty good, but like I don't know. I'm not really a believer in sound tests. I think they're cool, because you can listen to a keyboard, but I think they're almost 100% inaccurate 100% of the time. Because that's just the way sound works. Might go for a second thermal in red and maybe sell off my silver one, since I have too many silver boards now. Is thermal gonna like run again, or are you just gonna try to trade? Has a second run been announced? The red thermal's an amazing color. Yes, yes it is. Thermal extras. R2 has been announced. Oh man, those extras are gonna be a fight. A complete battle, if you will. Good luck with ramen. Yeah, exactly. Good luck with ramen extras. I can never tell if my head's in the way while I'm... Is my head in the way while I'm soldering? I try to lean back enough, but it's like habitual for me to lean forward while soldering. Only a little bit. I worry about that too when streaming. Yeah. I'm not cool enough to have one of those, like, I don't even know what they're called. Like a rail system for my camera. Like I just use it on a boom arm and I try to like angle it in such a way that it works, but it still kind of doesn't. Hopefully this will be a more doable since thermal did not draw as much attention as the U80. Yeah, I guess that's fair. I mean, I don't think it's really gonna matter, if I'm honest. I think thermal is still gonna sell out, like, in minutes at the most. The community is just so hungry for high-end boards right now. And people seem to have the money to spend, so... Can turn the music up a little bit, guys, just for myself. Let me know if that's too loud. It'll still sell out in less than a minute. I totally agree. Been hearing a lot of good things about the thermal. Same. Maybe 30 seconds. I can see that. There are a lot of gasket mounted 65%, that's for sure. Wilba's been hitting a 65% thermal. Sign me up for the 60%, please. You guys remember back in the day when 60% was more popular than 65? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Hey Stash, how you doing, man? Much love to you as well. Not much is up, just going through this build. Nice, seamless kind of build here. Very casual. Feeling good. Vibing to some good tunes, man. How about you? How are you? I think I picked a really bad day to stream. I feel like Nathan, Minterly, and Alex Otis are all streaming right now, along with others. Maybe Friday evening is not a good day. To be a streamer. Or a smaller streamer, rather. And Lang, yeah, Lang streams today too, huh? Did he just start? We'll probably wind up raiding him. You need to go watch Lang. He's building your board. Yeah, why are you watching me? You watching both? I'm gonna watch this though. I appreciate that, man. I know I'm not hype like a lot of the other streamers, and my production quality is objectively bad. But I appreciate those of you that hang out with me, anyways. I learned today that you invented holy pandas. I was the first to put the parts together. That's about it. It would have happened even without me. It was just a matter of when. What's up, Jaysha? 500 quality hangout bits. I appreciate that, man. That's the kind of quality I like. Just hanging out, chilling with the boys and girls, you know. It's a chill Friday night, and just vibing with some keyboards, you know. So invented them, sure. I think invented is a term that commands more respect than what I did. Discovered, yes. Discovered, I think, is a way better term. The last two tracks have been bopping. I like it. I don't know, it's just kind of crazy to me that between the community being relatively small and there only being a handful of creators on Twitch, it's actually pretty easy to talk to people who make significant contributions to the scene. Yeah, I mean, we're still a fairly niche hobby, all things considered. I mean, we're headed in the mainstream direction, but yeah, I mean, we're all just normal people, right? Like all the content creators, doesn't matter like if you're your Minterly, your apiaries, your Teja types, your Alex Odos and stuff. Like we're all just like chill normal people too, and like we just like keyboards. Most of us are pretty easy to talk to. Like you can join my Discord link below, and like you can talk to me like pretty much anytime. Some of the other streamers might be a lot busier than I am though. To be fair, but like most of them are pretty open to discussion. I've not been around super long, just since the pandemic, and like it's super endearing about mech community. Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, glad you're having a good time in the community too. I feel like a lot of people that are entering the community over the last year or so, it's very hit or miss. I feel like depending on who you go to, where you end up, it can have a lot of influence when you come into the community. And I think being in the right place is a really good start. The right place, obviously, being subjective, but like depending on like who you talk to when you first enter the hobby, could kind of chase you off because some people are, let's admit it, very elitist, very asshole about being in the hobby. I try not to be one of those people. I mean, we're all new ones, right? The barrier of entry is very interesting in this hobby, but it's a vastly different landscape than like when I entered the hobby and there was a lot less going on. So I think the people that are coming into the hobby these days, it's totally fine to give them as much help as you can because it's difficult. It's difficult to get into right now because there's just so much product, so many things, so much variety, and so many people that could all tell you different things. So like depending on where you get your information, could vastly influence how your experience in the hobby goes. Is there a type of tactility you look for in a tactile switch? Smooth, sharp, round bump, short bump, long bump. Yeah, I tend to prefer stuff like the Zelio V2, which I still kind of would say is my favorite switch on the market right now. So I like very large bumps that take up as much of the key press as possible, as round as possible as well. I'm not a big fan of the more traditional tactility, like MX clears, MX browns, that kind of stuff. I feel like, to me, that kind of tactility is less, like, it's a tactile bump, sure, but like it feels like it shouldn't be there. Like, it feels like a hiccup on the way down versus something like Zelios V2 or Holy Panda or like Topra, which feels so much more purpose built. But I feel like I found some good folks. Yeah, that's great. And it seems like you have too, like, honestly. Because sometimes I see a lot of people that, you know, are either chased out of the hobby or like they just have a very negative view about it coming in because of the people they've interacted with. And I'm not going to name any names or anything because I don't want to be that guy. But like, depending on who you listen to, like who your preferred like influencers are. I hate to use that term as well, but like it can really shape how you handle the hobby like the entire time you're in it. So I think it's cool to like if you get into the hobby and like you immediately like vibe with people and like you fall into a spot that's like you get like nice people, you get wholesome people, you get helpful and supportive people. It's very fortunate, and not everyone is that lucky. I know like this conversation sounds kind of extreme like for a keyboard hobby, but you know, in this sense, that's the way it goes. All right, I should be done soldering. I'm gonna do a quick test. That's why that was happening. Okay. Throwing hella shade at Teehee? You mean Nathan? Teo types? Nah, man. I like him. Him and I are friends. I think Teha does a really good job, honestly. I mean, there are times where I feel like things can get a little memey, but I think that's more because of just like how large he's gotten and like his chat. But I think like overall he does like a really good job, and I think it's very difficult on him because he's kind of in a unique spot in the community that like no one else is in, and no one else probably will be in for a little while. I think he does a lot of work for the community, and all of it pretty much good. But yeah, definitely, I'm not trying to throw shade. I think most content creators are honestly pretty good. Like, I watch a lot of them too. Like, I'll watch Minterly, I'll watch Apiary, I'll watch Nathan. I'll watch a lot of the smaller streamers too. This switch has an issue. I'm gonna have to swap that one out, I think. Looks like the leaf is loose. Or something. I don't know. I'm gonna take that one out though. This one as well. Alright, looks like all the switches work. A couple of them have like this weird tick though. I have to swap out a couple of these. Can't tell if it's the spring or the leaf. Oh, maybe I'm just going crazy. Maybe I need to put some caps on and try it. I might just be going crazy, guys. That could be what's happening. Yeah, I couldn't imagine being in this situation either, honestly. His Twitch chat is an average Twitch chat, yeah. In fact, in some ways, I would say it's probably more well-behaved than a lot of other Twitch chats. But it can be quite memey. And it's kind of hard to handle like that, too. Cause I'm not even sure if, like, that's what he wants. Because, like, he's, like, a pretty, like, calm, chill, collect guy. Who are some cool smaller streamers that you like? Langlandia, for sure. We'll probably be rating him if he's still alive. Tiny is another one. I mean, I don't know if I'd consider her small, but Stash builds boards, basic builds. Gosh, there's so many. DD Decline, Keone. I mean, if you just go like the makers and crafting channel, like a lot of the times you'll find a keyboard streamer live. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this build, and if I need to swap out switches, I'm gonna do that. But I might have just been going a little crazy. Because they all seem to have this kind of, like... I don't know what it is. It sounds like the leaf is, like, a little loose. I don't know. We'll put some caps on and see what happens. What do you guys think? Should I try it without the foam first? Try it with the foam. We'll try it with the foam. We'll try it with both foam. No, I lied. We'll do this in the opposite way. We'll start with no foam, and then we'll add foam. And remove hair, apparently. What's up, Ray? Thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. An OG at 32 months. Does it have as many issues as me? You don't have any issues, man. You are perfectly wholesome. Could it be the films? There are no films on these, as far as I'm aware. Were you ever not crazy? No, I've always been crazy. Permanently crazy, some say. Oh, I have issues. I'm trying to order a Mac and I'm unsure what I should get right now. Send help. What are the options? What are you considering? Do they still have the Elote Mac? Because that was what's up. Oh, I was going to remove the middle posts. That's what I was doing. Forgot to do that. Stuck between that, garden pesto, and chicken pot pie? Chicken pot pie mac. I think, if you haven't had that, I think you need to try that. Man, that's got to be a lot of calories. A lot of delicious, delicious calories. Yeah, doesn't a Elote Mac sound good? You've had everything? Alright. Well, I'm sorry. I was trying to be helpful. I like a little flex, a little bit more softness, so I'm removing the 2 center posts. Although someone in chat earlier did suggest that I leave the spacebar post. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not. I might try that, though. What combo of plate/case materials would you suggest for a super silent build? Probably... That's a good question, actually. I think when it comes to silent builds, things like your switches and your stabilizers tend to matter a lot more than like plate material and case material. Because like if you're using silent switches, for example, they're going to have, you know, kind of like rubber stoppers or, you know, some material stopper inside the switch. And you're not really going to get a whole lot of like the characteristics of a plate or a case material because of that. So I think it doesn't matter quite as much, but man, I don't know. Probably just like aluminum. Aluminum tends to be, it's a little softer, so maybe it tends to kind of absorb the sound a little bit more. All right, we're gonna put some keycaps on this. After we hydrate, stay hydrated. Go with the chicken pot pie, Mac Ray. Shout out to Hydro Homies, that's right. Lube Deluxe silent linears with no case. Just put the PCB on top of 20 desk mats. Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, you use more desk mats. As silly as that sounds. Alright. I'm gonna have to take these off of another board. Sometimes it's always nice to have like 3 boards on your desk at the same time. Yeah, very important. Should be a pretty easy swap at least. What's going to wind up happening is I'm going to wind up pulling a lot of switches out of this board because it's a hot swap. Yeah, I think you either gotta go with the elote mac or the chicken pot pie. Garden pesto sounds pretty good though. I'm a big fan of pesto. Elote it is. Man, now you're just making me hungry. My stomach, you can't hear it. My stomach is making the hunger noises. I don't even know what I'm going to have for dinner. I haven't eaten yet today, and that was a mistake. Ray, please. Oh yeah, foam. Alright. This is probably going to sound better with foam, actually. We'll try it without first. Are those Helios? Yeah, these are Helios. I need to find a set that's going to stay on this board so I don't have to take it off again and have to deal with the switches coming out. Alright, we're getting there. What is the blackboard? This is a Tokyo 60. Prototype Tokyo 60, to be more specific. What on black looks so good on it? Yes. I've heard some stuff about ping in the Tokyo 60. Any thoughts? I use silent switches in the Tokyo 60 because, like I discussed earlier in the stream, I tend to prefer silent switches or clicky switches in the integrated plate builds like this. So I don't know. I don't think that normal switches, like most linears and tactiles, get a lot of benefit from an integrated plate. So I've never really been in a position to determine if there is going to be ping in here or not, because I've never put switches like that in this board. But I think it would stand to reason that there would be ping, because there tends to just be ping naturally in integrated plate boards. Give me the Mac, Ray. What do you have in your M60A? I have Kale Box Pinks, which are a clicky switch. Where is my pipe key? Uh-oh. Am I crazy? Oh, it's still in there. How is it still in there? Alright. I feel like there's a lot of integrated plate HHKB layout boards. Tokyo 60, Tofu 60, HHKB, M60A. Yeah. I'm not sure like what it is about HHKB, but a lot of people like it. Is that GMK white on black? Yes, sir, it is. Okay. 2D floof. It is indeed 2D floof. All right. Let's do a brief sound test, shall we? That is the cutest wrist dress I've ever seen, right? Isn't it amazing? Okay. Do a little typing test here. It's got a little cold in my room. Alright. I've been pretty lucky on stabilizers lately. They've been coming out pretty good, particularly the spacebars. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. It does sound a little plasticky, as the JWK switches all tend to, in my experience. I think we'll give the foam a try. This is not bad though. I guess I was just going crazy. The switches sound pretty normal now, but they're actually topped with keycaps. All right, let's throw some foam in here and see what happens. Shall we? Take off a couple keycaps first. I have a feeling that the foam will definitely help. On the plus side, the switches feel great. Just need to get the sound a little better. We'll skip 1 and we'll go straight to 2, since that's what it came with. Maybe that's the intended route. Clippers play well with foam. I actually like them fairly evenly with or without, but for someone a little more, for something a little bit more muted, that foam is great and doesn't remove much from the board besides little flecks. That's true. We are going to have less flex. But hopefully it'll still be pretty good. I'm trying to get this alignment a little better. Alright, that looks pretty good. Something about keyboard building is just very soothing. Got him. Yep. Lots of bots and stuff around. Man, I'm just out here trying to build keyboards. Alright, let me go ahead and mute the music again. Let's give another listen, shall we? I feel like I went through this. I feel like I went through this exact same thing with my Clippa S, where like I like the mods more with the foam, but I like the alphas less with the foam. It makes the alphas a bit more high-pitched. Wait, it's not plugged in. Why are you backspacing? Because I'm typing from memory. Sheesh. gosh. Oh, the Numro actually sounds really good with foam. I like the feel of these switches, though. I can't decide if overall I like it more with the foam or without. I'm gonna have to use it for a while both ways and see. The switches do feel pretty nice, though. I'm glad he went with the thinner lube. All the switches around the edge sound quite nice in this build. I wonder if, with the foam, it's better to actually use the middle mounting posts. I don't know, what do you guys think? Maybe try one layer of foam? Maybe. I feel like I went through this exact same thing with my Clippa S. Like, exact same thing. All right, we'll try some things. Maybe just put foam around the mods and not under the alphas. I could. I'd have to cut the foam, but that is actually a possibility. I kind of want to try keeping both layers of foam, but putting the center posts back in. Because we're not really going to be gaining much flex. We're not going to have much flex to begin with, just because of using both layers of foam. So maybe we'll get a better sound if we use the middle posts. The bottom post is always good. Center post will affect the sound of adjacent switches. Yeah, that's kind of the goal here, though, at the moment. Well, we're going to throw these back in and see what happens. Maybe I could try one layer of foam as well, but it's nice to have the options, right? It's kind of what custom keyboards are all about. All right, we'll try one layer of foam. Try one layer of foam with the posts back. No, I lied. We're gonna try both layers of foam with the post back. And depending on how we feel about that, we'll remove a layer of foam in one or both of the center posts. I know I'm flip-flopping a lot here, guys, but there's options. We're out here experimenting, guys. Working with tray mounts is so interesting. It reminds me of like back when I was new to the hobby, and tray mounts were, well, they were very, very popular to say the least. A lot of customs were tray mount. Wait, where's the mounting point here? Is that under the space bar? I honestly can't even remember. Okay, yeah, it's right there. And the other one is in the middle. Shows you how often I have worked with tray mounts recently. All right. Only trays I ever had were the Ta-Da and tons of Clippa without the center post. The Ta-Da couldn't even compare. Clippa are genuinely very, very good. Yeah, yes they are. I would argue as far as tray mounts are concerned, the Clippa and the Fiel are probably the best iterations for this mounting style. I did put one down there, right? Okay. Don't worry, guys. I'm just going crazy. I'm liking this more, actually. I think that might have been one of the options. It's a little bit better. I think I like that more. I think I like this the most so far. It is definitely a firmer typing experience using both of the center posts. But I do think that it does sound a little bit better because of it. Compare the sound of G and H versus other alphas. It's pretty standard across this row. I'm unsure of what I like the most. But I think this is probably, I don't know, maybe I liked it better without any foam at all. I'm gonna have to sleep on this one, guys. I'm unsure how I want it. Gonna head out. Nice talking to you. You too, Frostfire. Thanks for sticking around for the stream, man. Hope you have a good rest of your night. Your Mac is here? Heck yeah. Glad to hear it, man. I'm going to be heading out for the night momentarily. If you guys have any last-minute questions, just let me know before we head off to raid Langalandia. Try with the bottom post and no foam. We'll see. We'll see. I'm probably going to take this apart at least 1 or 2 more times, but I want to use it like this for now, for a day or two, and then I'll experiment more with it. There's a lot of options here, so I want to try a lot of them, and it's going to take me a little while, and I don't want to let this stream run for another 2 hours to figure out what I want. I need to put some time into this particular configuration first, I think, and then that'll be able to tell me what I like more and less as I mess around with the posts and the foam. I think I like this the most so far, though. Alright, who we raiding? That's what we're going to figure out. Langlandia? Alright, sounds good. Well, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your night. Appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with me. I know it was a very, very chill build stream, but that's how I roll. Let's go over and say something nice to Langalandia, because he's super nice as well. Alright, guys, queue up for this stream. Go say something wholesome. Alright, guys. Have a good night. I'm gonna roll the outro, then we're gonna raid. Raid.